So as journalists, we usually don't mind our business. So
Yes.
usually in other people's business.
That's what you are paid for.
Yeah, that's what pays us our
I
salary.
mean, have you ever thought about it? The blessedness of that.
No, I've not.
Like
I'm
you're
not.
basically paid to be to do a proco.
Yeah, but it's sometimes I feel like leave these people alone. It's not worth it. But this one, I have been pushing it, but I couldn't push it anymore. Too many complaints from left, right, center about fraudsters exploiting loopholes in digital banks. Mostly the names that kept coming up were OPay, PalmPay. And I didn't want to mention names initially. I didn't want to write anything initially, but
Yeah,
the
I remember
complaints.
telling him to write it.
Yeah,
Strong him into an article. Write this.
So, but the complaints were getting too much. And when I got tip that you could actually open an account in someone else's name with someone else's details without them knowing, I said, no, this is too much. So, but this is what happened. On Thursday, I decided to, let me just give you a scenario.
Last week Thursday.
Yeah, last week, Thursday. Let me give you a scenario. Let me paint this scenario very, very clearly. So, before you drag me, please listen very carefully. Yes. So, let's say I've given Bolu my account number before, and Bolu wants to open a new OP account with my name. Bolu can easily do that. All Bolu just needs to do is look for a new SIM.
Okay.
And when registering, when they ask you to verify, when they want you to either choose BVN or NIN, there's a third option called verify with bank account. So instead of Bolu to put his BVN or his NIN, he puts my bank account. And once he puts my bank account, all he needs to do is to put my name, and he has an OPay or a PalmPay account. PalmPay does not even give you that stress. PalmPay, anything. As of that last week Thursday, please. So, Bolu will do a facial recognition, but it doesn't matter because even if his face is different from my face, it will still work. It still worked. Even if Bolu is a
Sharing
lady,
identities.
it will still work. So, it's now explained how one of my neighbors got defrauded. A friend sent money to the fraudster thinking it was her. And the name on the OP account was her full legal name and all of that. So it was a very, very terrible situation. And we wrote an article about it. And OPay released a statement explaining that they created that option for people who probably forgot their BVN or they forgot their NIN. Don't look at me like that. I'm not OPay. Then PalmPay said they've actually been trying to fix up and update the app for some time now. And people who are using the old app that still see that option. I just said app. God help me. So
God,
people
help us.
using the old app, but as of today, as we speak, they've turned off those options. No verify with bank account feature, just NIN and BVN on
As it
OPay
should be.
and PalmPay as it should be. And yeah, kudos to them for that. And I know they are not playing an easy game to serve a fintech app that scales to millions of users,
You
tens
need to
of
make it as
millions.
seamless as
They
possible.
need to make it as seamless as possible. So I
Fraudsters.
understand why all those things were implemented in the first place. But this is Nigeria.
I actually don't understand.
Okay, so let me have it.
So the thing is, and if you don't hold me for this,
You will be held. Don't
okay,
give us
I'll
this
still be held in that way, Abi.
Yeah.
So, whose fault is it that you decided to implement lax measures just because you're chasing users? Am I supposed to be like, did you not know that this is Nigeria, or that you're building a financial service and
People's
any
money
little loophole can always be exploited? Doesn't matter how little it is. There's a reason why the banks give you hell. It's not that they get something out of stressing your life. There's a reason why a lot of the things you need to do, you have to you have to be present. I was talking to someone recently, and apparently commercial banks you have collected this year. So now they've changed. Before, if you wanted to get a loan for a lot of loans, you could just do it on your smartphone. Now, after they saw some of the patterns, they said, no way, you're not doing this anymore. If you want to get some loans past certain thresholds, you have to. So you first of all make a request. and then they follow up with you like a human follows up with you to be sure that you're serious and that you actually qualify. So past certain thresholds, they are not making it automatic as it used to be. So these are institutions that they've been in the financial space for maybe 20 plus years for some of them. So they've seen every iteration of fraud in the country. They kind of have a very good expectation of what will happen. And you saying, so do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand why bank account was even a verification method
At all.
in the first place.
It's
Especially if you know Nigerians, we share our bank accounts a lot. I think people have said it a lot that when ATMs were first introduced, one of the biggest problems banks had was someone could give another person their PIN or their ATM card with their PIN and tell the person to use it. And you just assume, like, people were not aware and then they were getting defrauded and things like that. You know that in Nigeria, it's very common. After I send the account number, it's a very, very common thing.
You can even send
you
account
know.
number to someone you don't even know.
Yeah.
Because,
Exactly.
well, you
Like,
need to
I
get
probably have the account number. I have the account number of everyone that I live with. So it means that if anything happens tomorrow and I decide to, I could
Yeah,
always
fraudster.
duplicate all of their identities. I have
I cannot catch you.
I have to take enough money so that you don't catch me. If you go on that giveaway threads on Twitter,
You see account.
you will
number.
see account numbers. And if I do a little more digging, I'll probably find your first name and your last name, which is enough to. So
I will find your BVN
I will-
on Twitter.
so why
Like,
why did they think that was a
An
good
option.
verification option in the first place?
Since you can even press a code to get your BVN.
Exactly.
Like,
If you
just
forget your
one code,
BVN,
you can get
you
it
do
immediately.
it, you
20
get it
naira.
very quickly.
Bolu wants to defend
yeah. No, I'm not actually defending them, but I think one thing, the way we're just talking about it, I'm just thinking, I'm now realizing that, from the getting loans thing that Tim Gozim said that a human will follow up with you, to recently where I think who shared that thing that, someone from Tipa Cash actually came to his house. I think it was
Muyiwa.
Muiwa, yeah, to verify his address. So I'm now thinking, okay, maybe Nigeria is not. Is it that Nigeria is not at that point where systems, where we just need systems to when I say systems, I mean
To verify.
technological systems where you don't really need human input to verify some of these things. Is it that
We are not.
that's at
We are
that
not.
point?
We are not actually, because I mean, I was talking with a friend in Canada. You guys know him.
Mm.
He's always complaining about, and this is a more advanced
Country.
country, but their fintech or banking apps, they always give you hell.
Hmm.
Even if you've registered, within you just come back, you're already logged out.
Mm.
You have to input your password and everything. And some of all these banks, they do it too. First Bank, for instance, does not allow you to even take screenshots of your bank app. You can't take screenshots. If you want, Stanbic, right? So those are security protocols. You leave for some time and back.
You have to
You are
log
logged
in
out. You have to
again.
log in again.
You know what they are doing.
But some of all these digital banks, you just open the app and
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with
Those are the
encouraging. That's the problem with encouraging skill at all costs, because
Hmm.
now they have to do anything and everything in the books
Yeah.
and even outside the books to scale. So it's not a. We don't have, like you said, we don't have the tech. We are still fighting to harmonize NI and BVN. Which one should we be using? And now we also have to. Probably very soon they'll come up with something else. I think we are talking about digital IDs at some point this year. We are still struggling with harmonizing all these different databases.
Mhm.
So when we don't have it, I can use almost anything for verification. If it's not my national ID, it's my it's my voter's card or a number of things.
Yeah,
I
that's
could-
it.
I
There's
could use.
VIN
So
too.
exactly. So we don't have all of that, which maybe means that verification for a very long time would probably be manual. Would largely be manual, or maybe it would be tech enabled as opposed to fully automated. Now it has to be tech enabled. So you submit, and then we find a way to. I don't know how they will do it. Maybe what Cheaper Cash is doing, where you have certain thresholds, and then they go verify. But that excuse of it was so that
Yeah, so
makes
it's
no sense, man.
is it PalmPay or OPay? The old app, yeah.
I think all these things are excuses. Know the thing with companies trying to not making their measures or their this thing too lax is because it comes back to want them. Because if I get defrauded on your platform, I can sue you. So if that kind of this thing is not available, they can get away with things like this. I'm sure this is not I'm sure they've gotten several complaints about how people have done this in the past, right? But because it's not coming back at them, they keep telling you to be careful with your details. This is not about being careful with your details. Your account number can be found anywhere. I've maybe rendered the service and I want to get paid. Won't I provide my account number and stuff like that? So I don't think this is an excuse. I think this is just a channel that has been used to get more customers, to make it lax, and that is why platforms like Tech Points exist. We tell stories that matter. We tell people this is the situation of things. Change it because it is hurting people. And I'm even glad about the response. And we'll follow up. If you introduce it again, we'll write it.
Oh yeah, we will.
That sounds like a threat.
It's not a threat actually. So I mean, I've seen some users comment the article. Some people have actually found that. Sorry, some people have found that loophole in the first, but they didn't want to say anything. They reached out, but some people are dragging me in my inbox, and this week was the wrongest time to drag me actually, because I gave it back to them. And it's you will say, if anybody who knows me and reads some of the things I was sending, you know it's totally unlike me. But this week was not me.